Welcome back, everybody. Well, the Obama administration's effort to prove that it is doing all it can to fight the oil spill in the Gulf may be doing more harm than good. At least that's according to Congressman Issa, the ranking Republican on the House Oversight Committee. To talk more about the report titled How the White House Public Relations Campaign on the Oil Spill is Harming the Actual Cleanup, let's bring in Congressman Issa live from Capitol Hill. Representative Issa, good to have you here with Matt and me. I mean,
Thanks, Carol.
Let me ask you, first of all, why issue this report? Are you really seeing such discrepancies out there?
Well, there is, and what we did is we went to the Gulf. Personally, with Chairman Towns, I went down, but we kept crew there to do interviews, to do fact-finding, to learn what people on the ground were saying and could prove was happening so that we could get sort of the whole truth, the other side of the story. Admiral Allen and his team are doing good work. We're not trying to claim that what they're doing is harming the Gulf, but they could do more, and if the truth were known, they would be able to do more. When you look at assets that are not being applied but are claimed that everything's being done, if people understood more of the assets that weren't being applied and why, there'd be public support around the country to do more. So that's where the PR spin of we're doing everything gets in the way of, no, you're not doing everything. There are vessels and capabilities that are offline today that they just simply don't want you to know are offline, so the figures have been exaggerated. For example, we showed that at one time 140 skimmers were claimed, when in fact, after a perished leader pushed back, he finally got the honest answer, 31 were currently could be accounted for and deployed.
Why is that, Congressman Issa? I mean, I'm always surprised when I hear the president or the administration saying that BP needs to throw more boom down there. Why doesn't Admiral Allen just take over, bring in the military, put the full force of the American taxpayers' dollars behind that, and then send BP the bill after?
Well, ultimately, what Admiral Allen needs to have the authority from the president to do is to waive OSHA, EPA unilaterally when he thinks it's on balance in the best interest of the country, the Gulf, the ecology. He doesn't have that authority, so he has to have a consensus type thing. For example, there's something called a decanter system for ships, where these are foreign ships. If they're allowed in, they can suck up the water and the oil and put back 1% of the oil, but keep 99% of the oil. Right now, our government environmental agencies are blocking that because they say, well, you can't put water back in if it's not clean. Well, that's ridiculous. It's a lot cleaner than it was, but that kind of thinking is slowing down the process.
But do you really believe that the administration is going to try and do things that won't work towards cleaning up this spill? I mean, it's such a disaster, and one would think that they're going to take every move possible to clean it up as quickly as they can. I mean, do you really think they're making moves and taking moves to prevent it?
Oh, they're not taking moves to prevent it. What they're doing is they're not taking moves they would take if they were willing to push back on OSHA, EPA, and other agencies, Fish and Wildlife, and say, look, we appreciate what you have to say, but we've got to get the oil out, and in some cases that means a turtle egg is going to be lost. In some cases that means that water is going to be put back in that isn't environmentally perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. It also means that you've got to be willing to allow foreign vessels in and take advantage of capability in excess of what we have here. The not being honest that everything is not being applied, or saying everything's being applied when it isn't, is getting in the way of that. The positive spin by the administration, the embellishment, is not uncommon. It's the exact same thing you saw in the last administration. But it's got to stop if we're going to get more assets in place, and if Admiral Allen is going to be given the real ability to do everything that could be done.
All right, Representative Issa, thanks so much for joining us. Issa coming to us from Washington. Have a fantastic 4th of July weekend.